are the next contestant. Big bucks, no whammies. Would you like to buy a vowel? Well, the answer is a daily double. And the survey says, I'd like to phone a friend. Deal or no deal? Will the real Victoria Sautee please stand up? Roll the dice. Take a card. Move back 3 spaces, darling. That's right. Advance to go. Collect your money. Collect all of your $200 and get ready for Victoria Sautee's Let's Learn Stuff.
If you're stuck inside and you need some fun, she's the grande dame of getting it done.
Let's learn stuff!
With Victoria Sautee.
It's game day, darling. Games. They're a form of entertainment for fun, or often used as an educational tool, or maybe just for entertainment. Sometimes games are played for sheer enjoyment, sometimes for an achievement or a war, darling. That's right. Sometimes games are played all by themselves, all alone. Or sometimes games are played in teams, aren't they? Games have goals and rules and challenges and interactions. Games have tools of balls, cards, and a board, little miniature pieces. They're so cute, aren't they? Games require skill and strategy and luck, and oftentimes they require all three, don't they? Oh, it's so nice to see you all there today. We're all talking about games today, and games have been played since the year 2600 BC. That's quite a long time ago. It really is. Let's have a look at one of the first games, shall we? Oh, there it is. It's an Egyptian game. Nobody knows what it is, but it was found in the tomb of King Tut, and looking at it there, it sort of looks more like a torture device rather than a game, doesn't it? Well, there's all types of games there are. There's sporting games, and there's lawn games like croquet, and croquet from the movie Heathers, don't we? Those darlings. There are games that are played on a tabletop, like ping pong. Oh, there's card games. There's games that use little tiles and pieces and dominoes. There's guessing games. There's pencil and paper games. Oh, look, there's video games like Pong, where it all began. That's right, darling. There's online games. There's role-playing games. There's simulation games. Where did they all get started? Yes, in Egypt. That's right. And here is one of the first board games that we know of back to Egypt. There it is. It was called a Sautee, I believe. And there's a picture of someone playing it. It looks like a board, doesn't it? Well, I don't know if it's a he or a she, but they're sitting there, and I don't want to play that game. I don't. But it is the oldest game that we know of. It is. Now, when we think of games today, and board games especially, we think of Milton Bradley. Milton Bradley from Springfield, Massachusetts. That's right, not far away. Where is he, Milton? There he is. Look at him there. Look at Milton. Now, you know what Milton did for a living? He used to, before he started in games, he used to make lithographs of pictures, paintings, drawings. He would make prints of these, and he tried to sell them. Well, back in 1860, there wasn't a lot of business for him, so he tried to reinvent himself. He was having a conversation with a friend of his, and the friend said, let's play a game. And the friend took out a little English game, and they played it. And Milton said, why do we have to have an English game? Why did we have an American game? And Milton, so clever he was, he invented a game called the Checkered Game of Life. And that's what the board looked like there, that Checkered Game of Life. And that game sold 45,000 copies. And he decided, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make games for a living. Good job, right? Oh, someone else had the idea at the same time, the Parker brothers. Yes, they wanted to take the world from Milton Bradley. But together, the Milton Bradley and the Parker brothers created just about every game, every board game that we know of. Let's have a look at some of our favorite games, shall we? There's chess, and of course there's checkers, which has a checkered past, and there's Scrabble. We all love to play a good game of Scrabble, don't we? Figuring out those little tiles and what they spell. There's Monopoly, of course. There's Monopoly. There's Parcheesi. I never understood Parcheesi, a little too cheesy for me. And there's the game of life, Milton Bradley. It started out looking like that. It ended up looking like that, sort of. Now, with life, you know, darling, it always brings you aggravation. That's right. And sometimes life brings you trouble from the little pop-o-matic thing in the middle. And of course, life always brings you trivial pursuits, doesn't it? Sometimes life brings you a punch in the face like rock'em sock'em robots, or sometimes your battleship gets sunk, doesn't it? Milton Bradley also had some children's games. There's Chutes and Ladders, and there's the game of Candyland. And well, I suppose Barrel of Monkeys is a game. It's more just like a barrel with monkeys in it, I think. And Don't Spill the Beans, which of course every child wants to spill them. They do. Oh, here we have Mystery Date, and of course Operation. Everyone loves to try to take those bones out of that little operating man. Now, Milton Bradley also had some very unusual games, some board games. There was a 1973's Planet of the Apes game. And of course, who'd like to play a nice round of Sweet Valley High? Or maybe you want to play the New Kids on the Block if you're really jazzy and with it and hip. Or maybe you want to play Where's the Beef? It was a commercial from Wendy's and they turned it into a board game because that's what they did at Milton Bradley. How about a nice round of Bigfoot for the family? Everyone, look at that little boy. He loves Bigfoot. And those girls, they look very frightened. They do. Here's an interesting game, darling. It's called Oh Nuts! I have no idea how to play that game. I don't. And if there's anything more disturbing than the game of Oh Nuts, it's this next one. It's called Feely Mealy. Feely Mealy. I can only imagine. That's right. I can only imagine the game of Feely Mealy. Now, you know that Milton Bradley was bought by Hasbro in 1984, but all the games are still out there, maybe even Feely Mealy. Now, I don't want to continue to talk about games without talking about game shows, because I love game shows. I love games on television. I do. Here's the first game show appeared in 1938. It was on the radio at the same time. It was called Spelling Bee. I guess they spelled on that show, darlings. They did. There was also one of the original game shows, both on the radio and TV, was You Betcha Life with Groucho Marx. There he is. If it hadn't been for Groucho Marx, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today talking to you, love. Then there was the first network show called Truth or Consequences, where you would have to tell the truth or they made you do a dumb stunt, but you could win a prize no matter what. There's I've Got a Secret, and What's My Line, and To Tell the Truth, which were basically all the same show, except for one was sponsored by Bufferin, one by Florida Orange Juice, and one by Geritol, darling. Now, we know some more modern game shows through history, like everyone's favorite, The Match Game, or Hollywood Squares, or Password. Look at that groovy set that Password has. Isn't that lovely? The password is Precipice. There's the dating game, where the lovely little bachelorette gets to ask questions of those three men in suits and decide which one she'll have dinner with. And oh, yes, of course, there's Monty Hall. Let's Make a Deal, where people dress in outrageous costumes and they were given $100 if they had lipstick in their purse. And then, of course, still playing today, but not with Bob Barker, unfortunately, The Price is Right. Now, I have one TV game show I want to talk about very briefly. It's a very odd show, but I want you to know about Queen for a Day. Now, why would someone like me like the show Queen for a Day? Well, it has quite a history, darlings. It really does. It was considered one of the most ghastly TV shows ever. There it is, Queen for a Day. So what would happen is, there's our host, Jack Bailey, and he would invite three average ladies in the audience. Then one of them would say, oh, I don't have the money to pay for my operation. The next one might say, well, I don't have any food on the table to eat tonight. The next one would say, honey, I have no money. I can't pay my rent. And then what would happen is the audience would vote on who had the worst story, who needed it the most. And look, there's the audience. They're applauding, not for this poor girl. She only got a 2, so her dream didn't come true that day, but for someone else it did. And look at they were done a crown and a little robe there, and there's probably a scepter she's holding and a dozen roses, and maybe even a washing machine or whatever the queen needed. She got that day. Queen for a day. What a show, darling. What a show. Now, games can be played at home. They can also be played. They can be played at the Hawkwood Game Cafe. It's a lovely place. Have you ever visited? And if you haven't, we're going to bring you there right now. Let's bring on my friend Ryan at Hawkwood Games in Milford. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, Victoria. How are you?
I'm doing well. You're looking great as usual. And there you are in the Hawkwood Game Cafe. Tell us a little bit about the cafe, will you?
Sure. So we are in downtown Milford. We're right on the green. We've been here for about 2.5 years. So as businesses go, we're right about at potty training, which is about the level of competency that we like to keep. We are all about playing games with your family and your friends. We've got hundreds of games. I think the last count was in the 650s for everything from little kids starting at age 2 or 3 up through adults. We try to make it so that everyone can hang out and have a great time, which is, of course, on everybody's mind right now.
That's right. It is.
But yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So how does it work? You could go into the game and say, I want to play a particular game, and then you sit down and play it?
That's absolutely right. So we've got an entry fee, kind of like going to the movie theater. You pay $5 and come in and you play. You can come with your group and play with each other, or you can come and meet new people. We've always got folks here, and we have specific times of the day or events during the week that you can come in and meet up with folks that you don't know yet and make new friends to play games with, which is great.
Wonderful.
We've got special events that we're actually still doing at home. For instance, we're doing trivia nights online. We get together with cameras like this, and we do trivia just like we would do if we were here. It's a fun way to have games, even though we can't, be in the same room just yet. Although that is changing little by little, which is great.
Yeah, yes, and that's a good thing. It is. Now, besides playing games, the word cafe's in there. Does that mean there might be some food or beverages involved in the experience?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We've got all kinds of treats and goodies here. We like to get things local when we can, so we get our coffee locally roasted. We've got Fox and Park soda from here in Connecticut.
Delicious.
And then we've got just wonderful food, some of the best popcorn, I think, in the area. We've got hot, fresh paninis off the griddle if you are a little more hungry, and then great ice cream treats, candy for the kids, and things like that. Really, all good finger food. We try to keep it utensil-free because you need to be using your hands. So
that's right. Now tell me, Ryan, how did you get involved in starting a game cafe?
Yeah, it's a wild story. So I was on a trip with my wife. It was actually kind of a second honeymoon, and we were in Toronto. And we went to go get a cup of coffee at a really cute looking cafe. And we walked in, there was a whole wall of board games. And myself being kind of an aficionado or budding aficionado at that point, just kind of like, got starry-eyed and wanted to stay. And a few hours later, my wife pulled me out and said, we're going, we got more things to see on our trip. But the idea stuck with me, like, whoa, I want to be in that place. That's the place I want to spend all of my time. Coffee, one of my great loves, and playing board games, another one. And so years later, we moved here to Connecticut from Chicago. I had a chance to try something new, and here we are. Almost 3 years later, and we're having a blast. So we really are enjoying it, and yeah, it's just been great.
What are some of your favorite games that you like to play?
Oh boy, well, we've got some. So there are some great modern ones that a lot of people like. I like games that are interactive and cooperative. That's been a big switch. A lot of people have played Monopoly. And for a lot of people, Monopoly is a lot like that Egyptian torture device you showed at the beginning. Just no thank you, right? I like games where people work together. So I've got some games that I like. One is Forbidden Island. This is a game where you work together to find some treasure and get off of an island before it sinks. But there are also some more modern games. This one's from a local designer in New Haven. It's called Team 3. You are the 3 monkeys who can see, hear, or speak no evil. and you've got to work together while losing some of your senses to build shapes in a time limit. So it's kind of a fun work together for a positive cause, not a negative, I'm going to steal all your money kind of thing. And that's the kind of direction that great games go in these days.
That's
so
wonderful.
That's a few.
Yes. So now, if I wanted to play some online games with you and your followers and people who are there, how would I find that out?
That's a good question. So if you find us on Facebook, we're the only thing with Hawkwood in Milford. So hawk like a bird, wood like a tree. Find us on Facebook. We've got a Discord where you can find people to play games with. And we do that all the time. There's something called Tabletop Simulator, where it's like a video game, but it's a tabletop with game pieces. And people have actually recreated all of your favorite games in this space. So a lot of us have been playing there, but like I said, we do other things like trivia and things like that. And we've got great things like bundles to take home for your family. So you can pick up from our curbside a game, a few Fox and Parks, some snacks, all in one kind of kit to take home on a Friday night to spend some time enjoying each other instead of, just watching Netflix again, which, while valuable, gets a little old, right?
It does.
That's a number of ways you can kind of hang out, enjoy the games, even now.
That's wonderful. Well, right. I think you're going to have a lot of business from some of our viewers who are going to come down and pay you a visit. And we'd like to thank you so much for telling us all about the Hawkwood Game Cafe. Thank you for your time. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Victoria. Have a great day.
Bye now.
Bye.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Yes, I want to play some games. I do. But before we play any games, darling, let's have a little brief commercial message, shall we?
Now from Pantochino, take 1 yard, add 3 actors, and you get Pantochino Curbside, an original musical live in your yard. Perfect for birthdays, special occasions, or just for fun. Pantochino Curbside coming this summer. Details at pantochino.com.
Well, darling, we were talking about games. A lot of you are here today. I want to say hi to Zach and Bob. Emma's in the house today, of course, and Barbara's there. I see Suzanne coming to us from Florida. Maria's there, and Maria, did you have the New Kids on the Block game? There's Diane is there, and Diane loves some of these games. She does. Who else is there? Diane also. So what does she say? I have a public Facebook group called Hold Your Child with Learning. Help your child with learning. Don't hold them. Help them, of course. Yes, of course. Sarah mentions Jeopardy and yes, there's so many of our friends are here today. It's lovely to see them all. Who else is here today? Michael, the late Michael Major is here once again. Nice to see you, Michael. There's so many of you. Justin's there. Justin loves co-op games. He does. And of course, he loves Forbidden Island. He does. He loves it. Well, I'm so glad you're all here. Yes, I do. And, I'll bet you, I'm not certain, but I'll bet you that some of you might be in the mood to play a game today. Would you like to play a game with Victoria? Maybe we'll play the match game. Yes, the match game. I know some of you really enjoy this show, and how it works here is I'm going to hold up a little card with a blank in it, and you have to fill in the blank. Now, the thing is, you need to fill in the blank with what you think I'm going to say. And if you match Victoria, if we get a match, I'm going to send you a little souvenir of the show, maybe one of my little Victoria Sautee fridge magnets. You could stick it to your fridge or anywhere else that you'd like to magnetize and have my little face shining down looking at you all the time. So we're going to play a little round here. Oh, wait a minute. I've got some comments coming in. Game on, everyone. Well, yes, that's right, sir. Here we go. Here's the first clue. So while playing Monopoly, Jane, let me just explain. If you haven't been here before, Jane is from Fun with Dick and Jane, and she's my arch rival. She is. While playing Monopoly, Jane drew a card from Community Chest. It told her to blank. While playing Monopoly, Jane drew a card from Community Chest. It told her to blank. I'm going to write down my answer. written down my little answer there, darlings. Let's see. It told her to stay home. Let's see, who else? Be nicer or be quiet. It told her to switch up that attitude, girl. That's what I said. It told her to go to jail. It told her to put on her yellow dress. It told her to get her own show. I fear that's her motive, Chuck. I fear that's what she wants. I don't know that I want to give her her own show. All right, well, I have come up with my answer, and my answer is go to jail. That's what she should do. She should. Oh, look, we have another. Christina's also said go directly to jail. Oh, Shelley says, be nice to Dick. Well, she should be nice to Dick, but that Jane never is she? Well, the answer is go to jail, and Justin and Christine have won that first little round. Should we play another round? Let's do it. All right. Jane, again with the Jane. Jane was never good at golf. Every time she tried to get the ball in the hole, she blanked. Jane was never very good at golf. Every time she tried to get the ball in the hole, she blanked. So I'm going to fill in my answer. Here's the music. Let's have some music. There we go. Every time she tried to get the ball in the hole, what did she do? Let's see. She fell over. Michelle says she hit it too hard. She does hit it hard, Michelle, that Jane. She hits it too hard all the time. I kind of like she fell over. She deserved it. She scratched. That's a golf term, I imagine there. She missed, says Shelley. You call mulligan. I remember I Love Lucy trying to golf. She came up with her own terminology. She had a mashie, I think. She fell on her face. Good for you, Sarah. That's what she should do. Ryan says she had the caddy do it. I'll bet she'd like that. She missed and blamed it on Dick. That's just like her. What else? She collapsed. She got scared and missed. Well, nobody's come up with my answer. She cried. She cried, Jane. She cried. But no one got that round. But I think we'll have another go, shall we? Let's see what this next one is. Let's see. Jane, who did these clues? Jane was very clever and inventive while playing jump rope. Instead of jumping rope, she jumped blank. Instead of jumping rope, she jumped blank. I'm going to fill in my answer while you're going to try. I changed my answer, darling. I got up with a better one. I hope you can read it. It's all kind of messy. Let's see. Instead of, she jumped over a frog. She jumped Dick. She jumped Dick. She jumped Dick. It looks like the definitive answer is Dick. And she hopscotched. She wrapped the rope around Dick. She jumped off a cliff. I like the way you think today, Chuck. She jumped ship. She jumped ship. She jumped the shark. She jumped a puddle. She jumped through hoops. Well, Ryan, you've matched mine. She jumped ship. You see, I started to write soap, and I was rhyming rope with soap. She jumped ship. So Ryan, at the Hawkwood Games, you're going to get a little prize. You will. I'll send it to you in the mail. I have another one. I do. I have another. Yes. jumped. Oh, there's a good one. She jumped into the glittery bunker. Yes, that's a good one. All right. So here's another one for you. We're running early today, so I'm going to play another round. This is a short one. It's also game related, but there's no Jane in it. So there, cards against blank. Cards against blank. Fill that one in, lovies. This music makes me so happy. Cards against... I was right. The first thing that pops into my mind. Here we go. Cards against Jane. Cards against Trump. Lots of cards. Cards against humanity. Cards against Corona. Cards against money. Cards against Victoria. Oh, well. Cards against the wall. Yeah, just throw those cards out there, Barbara. Cards against Jane. Poor Jane, right? Yeah, Jane. I've had it. Cards against my sanity. Yes, that would be cards against board games. Oh, for heaven's sake. We have to have some fun out there, don't we, Christine? We need, what are the cards against? No one's, all right. I'll stop the music with that. Maybe. I don't know how to stop things here. So I wrote cards against all odds. I was thinking of the movie Against All Odds. Cards against... Nobody got that. All right. I have some more music. And Evan, I have one more little question. Very quickly, let's do this one. All right. We're running out of time. But here it is. One more. You Bet Your Blank. The Groucho Marx TV show was You Bet Your Life. So don't write life. You Bet Your Blank. Music. There you go. You bet your... Okay. Here we go. You bet your bottom dollar. You bet your mama. You bet your bottom dollar. You bet your bippy. You bet your wig. You bet your dragon. You bet your sweet bippy. You bet your bippy. You bet your bippy. You bet your sweet bippy. You bet your bucket. Where's bucket? There it is. You bet your dragon. You bet your bottom dollar. You bet your sweet bippy. Here it is. You bet your life. Well, that's the show. You bet your doggy. Well, you bet your tush. Suzanne bets her tush on that one. Here it is. Here's my answer. You bet your bippy, which is a throwback to Rowan and Martin's Laughing. Of course it is, darling. You bet your bippy. Well, everybody said that. So I don't know how I'm going to give you all a little prize, but at the end of the show, I will get something special for you all. And thank you all for playing. What a fun show this was today. It was lovely to have you all here in the glittery bunker with me. Now, it's almost the weekend, darling, so remember to wash your hands and be good and wear your little face cover if you go outside. And for heaven's sake, be kind to each other. Have a lovely weekend. I'll be thinking of you all, dearies, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
If you're stuck inside and you need some fun, she's the grande dame of getting it done. With Victoria Sautee.
Well, I thought I had this down, but I guess I don't. I just can't shut this broadcast off. I think I might have to go longer. Oh, is that it?